Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. So, we were at church the other night and some of our friends came up and said, hey man, have you ever seen one of these? And I said, well, what is it? They said this was their dad's and thought it might be cool for me to take a look at it. So I thought that was super cool. Looking at it closer, check this out. It is a Marlin sighting in guide and it's from 1956. Let me show you guys up close here. Marlin sighting in guide from 1956. 1956, in my book, that's an antique. Some of y'all were probably born before 1956, but I wasn't. That's almost 70 years old, but super, super cool. I actually do a video series called Boot Droppages, where I've done already a bunch of the common stuff, 270, 30-06, 308, where you can go watch my videos, and I teach you, if you don't know already how to do it, exact drop of a whole bunch of different cartridges and how I sight it in. Just to make it simple, if you've never done it before or you want a refresher, go check out the channel. There's a whole playlist of like 20 videos that shows you how I sight things in and the drop at different yardage, all the way out to 1,000 for most cartridges. Some of them even further, like 338 Lapua. But what this is, let me turn it to a common one, 243, 100 grain 243. This sighting in guide, which I think people should still print this. I don't know why somebody doesn't. Maybe somebody does, it's just not popular. So check this out. This guide says if you have a 100 grain 243 that has a muzzle velocity close to 30-70, well, if you sight it in at 30 yards, it's also going to be dead on at 210. And then I'll get you a little closer. It shows you kind of a little drop chart there all the way out to 350 yards. So this is saying if you have a 100 grain 243 that's close to 30-70 muzzle velocity, you sight it in at 30 yards, those are your droppages, and it's also going to be dead on at 210 yards. So at 350, this is saying, what is that, 12? I'm reading it backwards. Yeah, 12 inches. So a lot of you guys comment on the videos that you sight things in this way, which 100% is good data. Absolutely true. I don't necessarily sight my stuff in this way. I sight in everything dead on at 100 yards, except for rimfire. Rimfire sometimes dead on at 50, but I like to sight everything in at 100, and then I know the drop charts and exactly where things are going to hit. A lot of you guys like to sight your stuff in like this, which if it works for you and you have it how it works, these charts memorized in your head, perfectly fine. Nothing absolutely wrong with this. Also too, if you're sighting it in your backyard, you know, and you only have 40 yards or you only have 30 yards, then this is absolutely a great method. But I thought this chart was super, super cool. If you haven't seen my drop videos, there's a whole playlist where we've done almost all the common calibers by now in cartridges. 350 Legend, 270, 30-06. I've got some detailed videos on the channel. If you haven't seen them already, go check it out. Even stuff that's more obscure like 22 250, 450 Bushmaster, stuff like that. 4570 I think we did already. Go check out the channel. I've got videos where I've already calculated boot drops and show you how I do it. So when you go hunting and you know that deer pops up at 300 yards, you've already got memorized. If you're going hunting, you should already have memorized exactly what that drop should be, or have a dope chart if you're dialing your scope. When I go hunting, I'm placing that boot exactly where I want to every time. I don't agree with the whole, oh, between this yard and this yard, it's still going to be within 2 or 3 inches and I don't need to do holdovers. I don't agree with that method because animal can move, the wind can be blowing, and can affect where your hit's going to be by 2 or 3 inches. If you're giving yourself forgiveness of 2 or 3 inches already, that could turn into 5 or 6 inches and wound an animal. I just don't agree with it. I prefer sighting things in dead on at 100 yards and then knowing exactly where I'm going to place it. Whether I'm doing a hold or whether I'm dialing my scope, I want to place that baby exactly where it is. As opposed to just saying, hey, you know, like this one, oh, you know, within 30 yards and 200 or 250 yards, and we're only going to be off by 2 inches, kind of like this chart says. Perfectly fine. The math makes sense. That's 100% the trajectory of that round. It shows it right here. I just don't like hunting with them that way. Now, if you have it memorized what these holdovers are, and then you are compensating for those holdovers, whether it's up or down, that's the way that I think you ought to be using these charts. But I think it's called point blank range or something, where people say, oh, if it's within those two, it's all good, you know, and I'm not gonna worry about it. Yeah, that's fine with me, as long as you know what this chart is and you're doing your holdovers for that, not just holding the same spot regardless. And if it's within 2 or 3 inches, it's okay. I just don't think that's cool when you're going hunting. But real quick video, I wanted to show you guys this Marlin sighting in guide. If they still make these, I wish they were more common, because this is super cool, man. Every hunter, everybody, I think ought to have one of these in their bag. This is just super cool, especially for people like me who can't remember stuff. Hey, before I'm going out there, what was the drop? Or, you know, it's just a really cool thing to even have, maybe nail one out at the range or something, you know. It's got this hole in the center. Put a nail through there, and then whatever you want to see, just check it out. Super, super cool. But appreciate my friends letting me take a look at this thing. Tell you what, before we close the video out, I'm going to spin this all the way around. And you can fast forward to whatever your favorite cartridge is. But this thing's got from 22 LR all the way up to 358 Winchester. So pretty cool. It's even got 218B, 219 zipper. Never heard of those. Let me show you. I'm guessing in 1956 these must have been somewhat common. 218B and 219 zipper. I mean, I never even heard of those two, but if you were around in the 50s or the 60s, you probably heard of those two. I don't know, but I'm going to put this down on the desk here and just video real quick, spinning this around. You guys can pause the video on whatever info you want to see. But this thing I thought was super, super cool. I don't know why I haven't seen something like this. Now we got computers and stuff like that that can do it for you, but man, for just to have out there at the range, super, super cool. Easy to understand, easy to follow. Let me put this thing down and I'll record spinning this thing around. You guys can pause it where you want to see it paused. But a big thanks to my friends for letting me take a look at this thing. Super, super cool. If this stuff floats your boat, go check out the playlist where I dive deep into all kinds of common cartridges and we talk about the bow light droppages. But comment down below. Do you use this method? Have you ever seen one of these things? Do you still have one? Super, super cool. Big thanks to my friends for letting me take a look at this thing. Super, super cool. Marlin sighting in guide. Like I said, hey, I wish these things were still around. It'd probably help a lot of people out. I know you guys tell me a lot of times that you get frustrated and when you're trying to do this type of stuff, but something like this would definitely help you out. Or if you go watch our videos on the blue light droppages, that'll help you out too if you're confused or got questions. But let me know if you have any questions down below. Help you out with anything I can help you out with. Let me know if you ever seen these. Pretty cool. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you on the next one. WHOTEEWHO!
Load it up and get it on as soon as you can. 30-06, 10 mil, 50 cal. It don't make a difference, man. We like to shoot and make a little boom boom. If you like